I don't think I'll ever forget that phone call because it literally changed my life. Welcome to the Kenyan Wonder Soul. I'm Shina Malumba, and it's been such a hot minute. I remember the last time I did a video was like in January when I was going to Mombasa. And since then, I've been saying I'm going to do a video, I'm going to do a video. But alas, here we are, 1 year later. I'm so excited to do this video. As you can see from the title of it, I'll be talking about how I ended up working at Kiss FM. And I'm doing this video because I feel like a few years ago, I would have loved to see such a video, but I couldn't get any. And also, this goes to you who is a dreamer and you want to achieve anything in life. My story, karibu niseme my story. My story pretty much began when I was in class 6 or class 7. I remember I used to like read pretend news in front of class. I'll be like, oh, I'm Shina Malumba and 6 people died in Sujini. And I used to do that almost every weekend. And that's when I sort of like just started being interested in being in media. I wanted to be on TV so badly. That's what I wanted when I was young. So badly. And then, but I was not a good student. I was, nilikuwa danda. I remember nilikuwa napata maths 9%. There's this one time my teacher called my grandma akamwambia, you're just wasting school fees for this grandson of yours. Huyu mnunulie boda boda, aanze kuendesha boda. I'm like, emotional damage. God. So I knew I'm not really good with books, but I knew there was something in me. I didn't know what exactly, but I knew there was something in me for some weird reason. So when I went to high school, I joined drama club. And drama club, I was really good in drama. And that made me really realize that first, I'm good in something. It gave me hope. And secondly, it means I can really be something in life. And then there was this student called Rhino in school. Rhino ended up actually being a presenter at QFM. And he used to be an average student. And pia alikuwa drama. So he used to inspire me. I'm like, hey, he's an average student. I'm an average student. You know, I can also be where he is at. So he sort of just inspired me without even like us via talking. He just sort of inspired me by, him being where he was at then. So after high school, I wanted to do Mascom, of course. But like people were like, "Ay, Mascom haina kazi," which was sort of true because when you look at it, there were how many stations back then? 4. KBC, KTN, Citizen, and then TV, I think. So I was like, okay. I sort of like wanted to give up and applied for culinary arts in Utali College. I used to love cooking back then, but not as much as how bad I wanted to do Mascom. But wakanikata, thank God. But there's this friend of my grandmother who came home. We were having this conversation with my grandma. And then her friend came. And that friend of my grandma said, why are you afraid of doing something you haven't even experienced yet? Like you're being afraid of the unknown. It really made me sort of like, see, I should just do it. Kinda. So I applied for Moscow. I went to multimedia. I didn't even finish one semester. That's a story of another day. I transferred to KMC and I thank God I landed at KMC because KIMC was pretty much where my love for radio started. Even when I was applying, I wasn't sure what to apply. But at that time, I think the voices in my head, the back of my head was still there. Oh, utapata kazi. So I applied for radio production, knowing I'm not going to be in front of the mics or cameras. I nataka tu nikuwe mtu behind the scene. So I did radio production. But the first day in class, I remember there's this lecturer called Mr. Ngetich, if not keeping a teach. Everybody was introducing themselves, like Sema Gina and where wametoka. So he gets to me and he asks my name, namwambia, and then he's like, you really have a good voice. You should try broadcasting. I'm like, nobody has ever told me that. And I never knew there's anything like, oh, you have a good voice. So that made me really curious. I wanted to understand radio. So in school, there used to be a school radio station called ECN. It's still there till today, But just getting there as fresher, ati umeenda, sasa ndo you are in front of the mic. Hey, it used to be a hustle. So me and a friend of mine called James, who is a full circle moment right now because we are colleagues at Radio Africa. Me and James and another friend of ours called Sarah Cage, we used to record demos every day. Every day after the class, sisi tuko tu hapo, we are pretending we are, we are presenters in some station and we record demos every day with my phone, every day. And we ended up auditioning for ECN. All of us got picked. I started as a news reporter, going out for stories, ended up being a news presenter, ended up having a show, and then I headed the news department. By the time I was leaving that station, I was like the deputy head of, of ECN. It was so funny because at the time, nilikuwa naingia, it was so hard to get at ECN, but it was such a good experience. And then during that time, I went for my attachment at Hot 96, and that time God really tested me because everybody almost in my class had been placed somewhere. Me too, nimebaki, ninahangaika, I didn't know where I was gonna go. And then I applied at Hot 96 at Royal Media. They picked me, and I was just so happy. I was not even a producer. I used to do, as an intern, you do almost everything. Kuleteana chai, kufanya nini. But I got opportunity. I had a really good boss. I got opportunity to learn from the best, like in production, from Jackie and other people who just sort of like held my hand. And after finishing my attachment, I remember my boss saying there's an opportunity for a news presenter gig if you're interested. I felt so bad because I wanted it so badly, so badly. I was a second year. How good will it be? I'm a second year and already have a job. But I remember my lecturer telling me, if you take this job, you are probably not going to graduate next year. You're going to take a whole long ASS time. And I was like, wow. So I had to let that opportunity go, finish my course, and then just look for a job. So I thought it's going to be that easy. Character development, ilianza kitambo. So I got an opportunity at that time, just before even I graduated at Nation FM. There was an opportunity, every 2 students from universities and colleges, they were competing to be a presenter at Nation FM. Me and another guy called Fred Tunya, we were representing KMC, and I was scared as hell. Because at that time, I was just doing ECN. ECN is just a community radio station, and I'm going to a nationwide station. And it was crazy. It was a great experience, met amazing people, but it was just crazy. I was always nervous all the time. But later on, almost after 1 year, I think, the station was closed. So kila mtu ilibidi atembeze. And then I ended up having going for another competition at Family Radio. They also looking for a presenter. Family Radio is a Christian station. Mi nikasema, wacha tuende na Biblia, tungangane. I went there. I remember this. We remained like 4 of us. And then that used to call people and, we apologize, you have not made it. That week, nobody was called. I was not called whether I've gone through or not. So I was like, okay, clearly, you imeenda hivyo. But I never gave up, to be honest. I just wanted to really... I remember I used to walk in almost every station, just looking for a job. I was like literally pleading to get anything. Literally anything. Hata kama tu nitakuwa nakaa hivi nikiangalia watu nikipractice doing my demos. I just wanted to be in a place. And then after I finished school, after I did my last exam, I went back home. I've never been that kind of person who just wants to stay at home. So I applied for an internship at Urban Radio, which is in Kisumu. At that time, I'm living in Bungoma. Home is Bungoma. So I applied this Urban Radio. I go for the interview on Friday. This guy says, you can come and start your internship on Monday. I'm like, what? Monday? I live in Bungoma, man. It's a bit of a distance, like 2 hours, 1.5 hours. So I get home, I'm frustrated. I've got an opportunity, yes, but it's in Kisumu. How do I go to Kisumu every day? It just doesn't make sense. Where is that money? So my family, there's an aunt of mine who was a friend who was a hotel in Kisumu. God works in mysterious ways. So he calls the friend, she calls the friends, my aunt, and then the friend agrees. Wacha Brian Akuja. My name is Brian, by the way. My other name, my first name is Brian. So she says, yeah, let Brian come. She accommodated me in a hotel, gave me breakfast and dinner for free for a whole month because I was at Urban Radio for a whole month. She never asked me for money. I was like, wow. Yani me usually say, where? Mungu. Mungu. So I was just super grateful for that. And at Urban Radio, I remember my boss used to tell me, bro, get a life. Like you usually hear every single day. I used to be in the office Monday to Monday, just recording demos, practicing, and then that's where I met Chito. Chito in the Kiss Drive. And Chito really assisted me and trained me and helped me to understand every sort of aspect of radio and being on radio. And I honestly don't regret being at Urban Radio. I was there for only just 1 month. And the reason I left was because I felt I've been here for a month. I'm staying at our family, I can't even say a family friend. Ni rafiki aunti yangu place. And here I am. I've never been the kind of person who feels very comfortable when I'm being helped. I'm usually like, I want to be the one helping people, not the other way around. So I just felt very uncomfortable being there for all this money. I'm not paying this lady anything, and she's just assisting me. And also, I was coming back because I was coming to graduate. So I had to leave Urban Radio. And there was no sort of like, Atisuji promise I'm going to be employed or anything. So I left Urban Radio, came back, graduated. There was no, I was just going to sit around. Me and my 5 other friends, Kina Dennis Milimo, Akina Matumbi, after graduation to Kajichocha, we go and apply for a job together. We went to Ghetto FM. And surprisingly enough, we were given jobs, all of us. I mean, it was for sort of like internship because we're doing it for free. But we were all presenters. I was doing the morning show from 6 to 10 with Dennis Milimo. And it was Kiswahili, by the way. Kiswahili changu kilikuwa kime nawirika. Thanks to Dennis Milimo, who is now at Pulse, Kenya. So it was an amazing experience. But I used to stay at my aunt's place in Langata, leave at 3, wake up at 3, get to the office at 6 every single day. I did that for like 4 or 5 months. And I'm like, where do we even get this transport to come every single day, to be honest? Hata unachoka kuuliza mzazi. Oh, transport leo. Oh, umegraduate. You know, they expect you to do something and get your own money. So after that, I left Ghetto FM. I ended up working as a customer service agent. It was draining. Because mimi si mtu waku, I'm not a 9 to 5 person. But I got this opportunity and was like, let me just do this job, get this money, and do something that I've always wanted. So, and something I've always wanted was to, at that year, I think was like in 2017, I wanted to go to Tanzania and work with a renowned journalist called Millard Ayo. That's a story I'm going to tell in another video because I literally quit my job and went to Tanzania I didn't know anyone, but to look for this Millard Ayo, to work with him. It was crazy. So I was like, hey, this customer care job is an opportunity for me to save that money. I got the job. I used to sell hot dogs and smokies. Nakumbuka I used to like get to the office, 50 bob, napea na smokies, paka kwa HR. It was amazing. I loved being there as much as I never loved the job. I just loved the people and everything. So I quit that job. Around that time, there was an interview at Radio Africa. They were calling guys for a producer gig at Radio Jambo. Me at that point, I wanted anything but not a customer service job. And then, the production job is something it's what I've done. So I went for the interview. I got called, I went for the interview. Interviews, I go and I let go of them. I'm never that kind of person who's like, oh, wamenipigia, oh, no. I never even bother about them. So I went for the interview and even forgot about it. So almost like 3 weeks later, and at that time I was traveling, I was going to the UK with my family to visit my family, my uncle. So I went and I get an email from the HR at Radio Africa that they are calling me for the second interview. I'm like, yo, I am in the UK. I can't come back. So I ask her if I can make it by the end of February, and she says no, they will need somebody very urgently, and I was one of the selected people to come for the second interview, and I'm like, damn. So you kind of evil. So I came back from UK, and then the plan was to stick to go to what? To TZ. Packed my bags. I'm going to Tanzania to meet Mil and Ayo. So psyched up. I go to Tanzania. I think I was there for like the second, third week. Radio Africa calls me again. There's like, oh, there's another opportunity. If you're interested, you can come. I'm like, are you serious? You're calling me when I'm always out of the country? What? What in the actual hell? But anyway, at this point, I was going through so much. Just when I think of such days, I usually just like sort of smile and laugh at the same time. Because what? Tanzania is a story I'll tell. I'll definitely tell this story. Because Tanzania really opened my eyes a lot. Because I ended up meeting this Mil and Ayo. I didn't get to work with him, but I worked with a station called Classic FM. It is an English station. Worked at Classic FM for like, I think 6 months. Not 6 months. No, I was in Tanzania for 6 months. Stayed there for like a month. I met amazing people. Seba, Lady Haha, Abby. Amazing people. Brian, Calypso. Amazing, amazing people. Learned so much from them. I used to produce almost all the shows. And I never felt like it was work to me. It was just like, from being a customer service agent, I was like at home. They never paid me anything. And I remember that Abby told me, we are not ready to even like pay anyone. I was like, no, it's fine. I just want to be there for the experience. I had an amazing time. So coming back, I was trying to figure out what else I'm going to do, and I left because of visa issues. I was wondering what exactly I'm going to do. So I remember when I came back, I used to like walk in places. I went to 1FM, met Ketrira, gave her my demo, made her listen to my demo while I was there, and niambie what she thinks. I went to Homeboys. I tried to apply almost everywhere. I didn't get anything. And then there was an opportunity for customer care job. I was like, this thing is haunting me. So there, again, I ended up, but when I was doing that interview, I was like, please do not pick me. I ended up getting picked. So I was like, let me just do this job, save my money, and do something else, maybe crazier. At that point, I was emailing some radio station in Dubai called, I think, Dance FM. So I used to email them, telling them, me, I can do anything. And then they told me, if you can get yourself in Dubai, we can, and it's an English station, we can give you an opportunity to even like intern with us. I was like, yes. So I was going to work there for almost 6 months, save my money, and then go to Dubai. But at that time, when nilikuwa nimesema sasa niende to Dubai hivo, I have to also look for a job. I started looking for an agent. Agent of kupelekwa to Dubai. There was an agent up on Ngong Road. Siwezi kumbuka anaitwa nani. So I went there. She told me to shave my head, shave my beard, because he wanted me to apply. She wanted me to apply for a bellboy position. At that point, I didn't even know what a bellboy. I didn't even know what a bellboy is. It was just like, yes, I want a job. I went there, sent my CV, everything, pictures. Hey, my passport was renewed. I was ready to go to Dubai, kukua, bellboy, waiter, anything, to be honest, at that point. As long as I'll be able to be in Dubai and be at Dance FM and just experience radio again. That's how much I wanted to be on radio. Hey, that agent never called me. So me nikaendelea kufanya kazi at this other customer service place. I was there for a while. Quit that place, got another customer service place. These people never called me back. So, but this time I was getting this second, this is now in 2020. I was getting 2020. I was getting this another customer service center. I was tired. I'm turning 27 now this year. I'm thinking I've not been able to experience employment as a radio, like being employed kwa kitu yenye napenda. Never. I was getting frustrated. So in 2020, there's an aunt of mine who She always believes in me. Like, me and her, we are so aligned. She went to do her PhD in the US, and she told me you can apply to do your bachelor's. So I was like, okay, let me apply. Ati Kenya at this point ishani chosha, hakuna kazi. So I applied at this school to do my bachelor's, and weirdly, I was picked. But now, this is the problem. There's no money. These people, the fees was coming to like 5M. I'm like, yo, where the hell are we gonna get this such amount of money? But my aunt is usually like, she works with the faith, and she's like, you just come, we'll figure it out, we'll look for, what are they called? We look for sponsorships, scholarships, whatever, you just come. So I applied, did almost everything. I was ready to go, I was ready for my visa. At this point, we were working with Faith, by the way. Mi najua mi naenda Maju 2021. I'm like, yo, even my friends, nilikuwa tumeshaza, kila mtu anajua Mshina. The people who are close to me, they're like, Mshina is going. Hey, my friends, Corona happened, and then the visa embassy kept on postponing the interview, In 2021, my interview was supposed to be in May. They postponed it to September. I was like, what? So I was getting tired. I was getting really frustrated because nothing is really happening in my life, manze. And then Radio Africa announced they were looking for presenters. I had it. I never cared, to be honest. I was not even like... I didn't plan to apply for it at all. And there's a friend of mine who called me, I think, the last day. And she was like, yo, have you applied? I'm like, no, I'm not applying. Like, they probably have their own people. I never cared much. It's like, what are you going to lose? Just apply. Kwani konini? What's wrong with you, Brian? I was like, oh, okay. So I ended up applying that job. I remember I was on a night shift at that call center. Applied for that job. I sent my previous demo. I think I'd done like last year. I just sent it, never cared. I was like, whatever. At this point, mi nataka kwenda Maju. Nimeona Maju. So I never cared about it, to be honest. 2 weeks later, they called me. I was sleeping. I think it was on a Wednesday. A lady calls me and she's like, am I speaking to Mshina Malomba? And I say, yes. She says, you're supposed to come for an interview at Radio Africa. Where are you? I'm like, what? What interview? Nobody called me. Nobody told me anything. She's like, we called you on Monday. I'm like, aye, apana. Nobody called me on Monday. She's like, no, we called you, Mshina. I'm like, no, I would not have been called and I missed to come for an interview. No. So I ask her, so what happens? Do we, can it be rescheduled? She says, give me a minute, let me find out and then I get back to you. At this point, I am so pissed at God. I'm like, I literally sat at my, at the sitting room and I was like, God, really? We're doing this now? So this lady calls back after 5 minutes. She says, I'm sorry, but we're not able to reschedule it. I'm so sorry, but we have your CV and your demo. We'll keep it for another time. Ukishaambiwa hivyo, you know that's it. I never wanted the job really per se, but I just felt bad that there was an opportunity for me to present myself and I was denied the opportunity. Not because of me, but because there was a mistake somewhere that I was not called for some reason. I sat down, I remember I cried. I was like, God, we are doing this. First and foremost, my visa issues is just Corona, embassy, things are not happening. And then now this is what we're doing in 2021, right? You may decide, Mshina, nothing of yours is going to happen this year. I called a friend of mine, Eric, and Eric tells me, Brian, you have to know that if something is meant for you, it will look for you at a chini ya kitanda. It will find you. And I was like, all right, maybe that was not meant for me, to be honest. And maybe the US thing is going to come later on. But as I had said, if I'm not going to go to the US, I will quit my job and go to Namibia. I've wanted to travel to Namibia for a very long time. Go to Namibia for 1 month, stay there, nizime simu, I figure out what I want to do with my life as I make YouTube videos. So this one was like, maybe God is showing me Namibia is a better decision. or Maju. So there's a friend of mine called Jackie. I called Jackie and tell her, oh yo, so this has actually really happened. I was supposed to go for an interview and then it is not happening. And then she tells me, Brian, you get on a border and get at that office right now. Let them tell you on your face, we are not having you. You know? And I was like, At that point, I was like, let me do all I can do in my power to make this happen. After that, I'm leaving it to God. At that time, I'm living in Ronga. Cha! Kwa boda. I'm just walking up. Kwa boda. Wayaki way. I get there. I talk to the receptionist. She says, oh yeah, you're the guy from Ronga. Yes, the panelists are waiting for you. Waiting for me? How? As far as I'm concerned, I was told it's sorry. Next time. This was me just trying. No. They're waiting for you. I don't know if there was a delay of people. I don't understand. But they're waiting for me. So I go there and I'm like, I'm still in shock at that point. How is this even happening? I get there. There are like 4-5 people, 4 panelists. And then one of them recognizes me from an interview I'd done before. And he says, are you the one who went to the UK when we called you at first in 2017? I'm like, yes. I'm shocked because how do you remember me? And like, yeah, we gave you a job and you refused. I'm like, no, I didn't refuse. I was just so far away, I couldn't make it. And then we called you again. You were in Tanzania. I'm like, yes, I was trying to make some dreams happen. So it was such an easy interview. I remember it was just, me in interviews, I'm usually myself. You see how I am right now? That is me in interviews, myself. I remember telling them I am planning to, at this point, I'm like, whatever happens, happens. I'm at a point in my life where I feel like things have not been happening. And if I pass this interview, well and good. If I don't, kaende. Like, that was the sort of like mood I was giving. And I was told, yeah, we'll call you. So they literally didn't even ask me anything much, just my experiences, my radio experiences, and what have I been up to all this time. That was it. So at that point, I was like, whatever. If it happens, fine. If it doesn't happen. They called me back after 2 weeks. Come for a second interview. I'm like, what? This is actually happening. Okay, second interview, went there. Then James, my friend. You remember James, my friend? Well, we used to record demos with, was also called. So went for the interview. Second interview, the third interview, we are like now 10 of us. And then Kina Maina Kageni, these are people I've always looked up to. Shafi Weru comes and says, oh, welcome to the family. I'm like, welcome to the family? Have you been chosen? I'm like, what's going on? So we went there, did a live demo, and then we're told we'll be called again. Hey! At this point, I was like, at this, sitaki atata kujua. Ikikuja, spokuja. Called for the 4th interview. I will never forget that day. Ever. 1st of April 2021. I was planning to quit my job to actually now go to Namibia and just live my life and do something, figure out. I get a call and this lady says, hi, is this Mushina? I say, yes. We have an offer letter for you if you're interested. It is 1st of April. Hiyo ni siku ya, what is it usually called? Siku ya Fool's Day. I'm like, I told her, I'm sorry, but I'm honestly not in a place where I don't want to make jokes. I mean, I know it's April Fool's Day. Let's not, like, I don't want Mr. Kikukua pranked. And then she's like, she laughed. She's like, Sheena, no. It's the HR from Radio Africa. I'm calling you and I want you to come and look at the offer letter. Of all the days in my life, I think at that point, I remember talking about my dreams when I was young to my mom and just, it was a long journey for me. I got really emotional because I was like, this has been literally my whole life's dream. And when I was honestly giving up on it, I was tired of chasing radio and I wanted to give up, is when I got a call and said, this is the first employment I've ever had, ever. I'd never been employed ever on radio. and this is my first employment. Wow. I till today, I think when I think about that day, I usually get goosebumps, to be honest, because that was a life-changing call for me. And it has been such an amazing, wonderful experience to just work at Radio Africa and literally live my dream. Because it's been a dream coming true for me. And I'm just super grateful. So, I don't know what your dream is, bro, or sees. I have no idea what it is. And I'm not trying to even go Oprah on you, but if there's anything I've come to realize, especially this year, if you really want something, if you really dream about something, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take. I write my dreams down and I read my journals and I write down the things I want to do or I want to achieve. And when I read my journal nowadays, and I'm like, oh my God, this was in my journal like 6, 7 years ago, and this has happened, this has happened. Everything that you wish for comes to life. Every single thing. It's just a matter of time. And everything. If you'd asked me that I would be working at Radio Africa this year especially, I would probably just laugh it off. But God works in amazing ways and divine timing. Everything happens at divine timing, just the right time. So I wish you all the best in everything that you are doing and in everything that you are wishing for. All your heart's desires are about to come true. 2022 is here, and it's going to be a life-changing year. So don't give up. And if you do, it's probably the time your dream is going to happen. So I wish you nothing but the best. And I'm a big dreamer. And I've always wanted people to achieve their dreams. And I know that you're going to achieve your dream. Thank you so much for watching this video. It's been amazing. It's been long, I know. I didn't want it to be more than 30 minutes. But it was amazing to finally do this video. And thank you so much for subscribing. And you can find me on Instagram at Mshina Malumba and all social platforms. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Have an amazing time. It's almost freaking 2 a.m. I need to go to bed. Have a lovely time. Bye.